It's another day for a player spotlight, and that means another opportunity to answer a quiz question. What former Premier League manager has also competed in the Dakar Rally? Let me know down in the comments if you know, and if you don't, let me know down in the comments anyway. Yes, welcome to the Omega Luke Gaming channel. Do you ever have a special bond with a player because of one specific football manager, and then later on you just continue to have that special bond with that player? Today I'm going to relive one of those special bonds. This was one of my favourite players in FM19, my second favourite player behind Dani Olmo. This was the second favourite player that I had, thanks to a save that I did with my beloved Eintracht Frankfurt. We're going to take a look at his illustrious career throughout, and he does have a very good player potential rating of up to 170. So in this player spotlight, we're going to move him around to 3 different teams. We're going to set him at 170 potential and see how he progresses into that, see how many goals he scores and everything like that. But before we do, if you haven't done so already, keep smashing the like button. That's absolutely fantastic. If you haven't done so already, please remember to subscribe. And also, if you do like a live stream every now and then, twitch.tv/Omega Gaming, should you wish to check me out. Youth to Gold with Holstein Kiel, who just beat Bayern Munich, by the way, in the cup on penalties. I'm so proud of my boys. And the player we are looking at today is Brenner. He is from Sao Paulo in Brazil. I don't know whether he's actually from there, but he plays there anyway. You can find him at the start of the game, and he already is ready-made to start in your lineup. Look how good he actually is. He's 20 years of age, so he's one of the older players that we're going to have on this list, but he still counts as a potential range player of 170, so he can be as good as 170. He can also be as bad as 140, depending on what your save is. But he has a lot of fixed attributes like we can see here. You won't see any different attributes because of mainly how old he is and how long he has been around. But like I mentioned, he was a Wonderkid back in FM19. My favourite striker Wonderkid. He's Brazilian, viewers. He's Brazilian. That's what makes him fantastic, in my opinion, because I love a Brazilian Wonderkid. I'm a sucker for it. Obviously, he plays in that striker role. If you were to train him in different roles, he could be quite good. However, you need to remember, when you actually train him to play in different roles, that actually takes up attribute points. That's how the current ability is ranked. If you play in different roles, it takes that up. So remember that. But his cost. Now, because he is ready-made, he does have a cost. £13.75 million, though, is a very low cost when you consider how good he actually is and how good he actually can be. So £13.75 million is his release clause. If you're anyone really in a big European club, you're probably more than likely going to be able to get this player and later on in the future in your save, unless he has moved elsewhere. I would hazard a chance that you'd probably be able to get him as well. He doesn't have that many player traits. We're going to give him some as well and see if that takes any difference. But where are we going to send him? I have an idea. So the year is 2023. We have spent 3 seasons in Belgium at Genk, if you will. Brenner here has had a fantastic time in Belgium. He has really enjoyed his stay, and we're going to take a look at that. So here he is. Already, he looks fantastic, isn't he? Already, I would say he would walk into majority of the Premier League sides. Because if you take a look at his physical attributes, the 15s there and 16s in agility and natural fitness, 15 both in acceleration and pace. His strength has increased too. The 15s in the technicals of dribbling, finishing and first touch, not to mention he's a good penalty taker as well. So that's also secured. And you'd want him to take your penalties, viewers, because in the mental attributes, he has 15 composure. He has 13 decision makings, 14 anticipation, and that 15 off the ball. So that is where we are looking at, and so far, so good. In this iteration as well, he also has the consistency of a very consistent performer. We know that's a good attribute to have, but how has he performed? Now, his value is stated at £25 million. So that's double the amount of what we paid for him already after 3 seasons. And his history, you wouldn't want to release him for £25 million. Oh God, no, because look how many goals he is scoring. 25 goals in both the first 2 seasons there with a 6.94 average rating, and this season was his best. 33 goals just in the league in 38 games with 4 assists, 7 player of the matches. 43 goals across the whole season though, playing in continental competition. He's actually scored 4 goals in continental competition in 53 games. Now, the competitions-wise, they have been playing in the Jupiler Pro League, which is a very difficult league. Trust me, I've been sacked from it. Now, Genk have actually won it the last 2 seasons, so he's actually done quite well. Happy with that. The Cup, it seems like they are winning the Cup as well the last 2 seasons, and they have played in the Champions League, and this time round, they managed to get to the first round knockout. They've managed to actually qualify from the group stage. Quite impressive for a Belgium team. No offence to any fans of Belgian football. I do apologise. I love your league. I love all the players that you're producing. But it's time to move him on to a more reputable club. Where are we going to go? Now, we have hopped into our time machine and we have gone forward another 2 years here to the year of 2025. So 2 more seasons under Brenner's belt, and we can see he is playing in the French league at Lyon. I've seen it as quite a nice little fit, to be honest. I quite like Lyon as a club, and I think having the challenge of PSG would be quite interesting. It's a good league to put them in, I think, for these player spotlights. You'll see a lot of times we put them in the French league for a good reason. Now, Brenner, he is valued now at £56 million, and this is him. It must be close to his peak potential. I don't quite know when we actually move into the peak potential, but this must be very close. Because look how good and phenomenal his attributes actually are. The physicals, he has 18 agility, 15 pace, still 16 acceleration, that's gone up. Mental attributes, 17 composure now. We have 15 flair, 17 off the ball. And his technical attributes of 16, 16 and 17 for those front 3. Really special player already. A 5-star for this team. What has he been doing though? Because we can already see he's scoring more goals than he's playing games in the league. He's already scored 39 goals in 36 games with 9 assists and 8 player of the matches. The season before was just as good a season of 37 goals in 38 games with 4 assists and 11 player of the matches with a 7.28 average rating. 65 goals in total this season in 52 games and 51 goals last season. We actually purchased him from Genk for £33 million, so you can see that. Competitions-wise, now they are in league with PSG. So for the time being, we actually won it the first season he was there. That's incredible. I need to see this. I do remember now Thomas first telling me, my simulator told me that happened. I remember that now. And they absolutely destroyed the league. Fair play to them. They only lost 3 games. One was against PSG away, Nice and Lyon. They drew 4 games. So they actually managed to beat PSG in one of those games. So fair. They've had a fair crack at it, Lyon. That's nice to see. Competitions-wise, they were knocked out of their group stage there. They managed to go to the Europa League. Did they win the Europa League last 2 seasons? They did not. The Coupe de France semi-final, have they won it the season before that? They did not when he wasn't there. Or did they? 2024-25, they did win it. So they had a domestic double, viewers. That's fantastic. Well done to them. So far, so good. Brenner is playing very well. He's performing. The club that he's at is performing. Let's go a few more seasons in the future. See if he stays at Lyon. Little hint there going forward. And I don't think he's actually reached his peak yet. Because there's something that I remember happens when he reaches his peak. So let's take a look. Okay, so this is him. Very close to, if not at his actual peak. Of 170 current ability, Brenner now finds himself at Barcelona. We could not keep him in the simulation any longer at Lyon. There was a load of bids coming in for him. Barcelona wanted for him. We went with Barcelona and we decided to follow him as the manager. £95 million. Look how good of a season he has had so far. 28 goals in his first season, 49 goals in 38 games in his second season. But this season is absolutely bonkers. A 54 season just in the league tally. Across the whole season, he scored 82 goals in 56 games. 19 in 11 continental competitions. I know people are going to ask what tactic we are using. We have used the same one throughout the whole time. We're going to take a look at that in a second. But let's just appreciate how good he actually is. Also, we're starting to score more goals when we add the player traits. So that's intriguing. Something to take note of because that hasn't happened all the time. He is also an elite striker. But look how good he is. And his agility now is 19. With that dribbling, finishing and first touch, he is deadly. Likes to beat off side traps because he's an intelligent player, very good off the ball, great anticipation. And when he does beat the offside trap and he gets onto the ball, he has 18 composure. It's not very often this guy is going to miss, and we can see that he's probably scored majority of his goals. And what's actually really interesting is something that I want to make sure I look at more, especially for players in like the striker role, is XG is 35. That means he should have had 35 goals if you take into consideration what should be a goal scoring opportunity, and he scored 54. So he's scoring so many more than his XG should suggest. 54 total goals just in the league. That's impressive. In the Champions League, 13 XG, he scored 19. He's exceptionally well. He's exceeding his expectations. As are Barcelona, they're also doing very well. They have done a domestic double as well. They were knocked out of the semi-final of the Champions League by PSG, but he's played there for a couple of seasons now. They have not won it there. What have they done in the league, though? Have they managed to do that? They have managed to win the treble in the league. That's fantastic. They've got a great team here, by the way. Phil Foden being another fantastic player there. What a season. Unbeaten, viewers. Unbeaten. They've only drew 3 games against Villarreal, Atletico Madrid and Celta Vigo, where it appears they could only score 1 goal, and they only conceded 1 goal throughout each of those games. The tactic we are using is the Nap Warrior tactic because he is playing as a poacher. Perfect role for this type of player, playing on the very edge of the defence, the last line of defence all the time, looking for that ball, that through ball, and it is working an absolute treat. And we bring you back for the final time after the 10th season. 2030 is the season at Barcelona still. You very good eyes would see that we played in the Champions League final and we won 2-0. So spoiler alert, we have won the Champions League with Brenner. Fantastic, but let's take a look at him. Here he is in all his glory. Now a couple of attributes have changed. He did have a 17 around here. That's gone down, but he now has a 20 in agility. It's weird how attributes work like that. So, I think he's absolutely fantastic. His actual current ability's gone down as well. I don't know. Don't know why. It might be because his physicals are starting to decline because he is now 30 years of age, which is obviously very weird. And surprisingly to me, actually, he only has 43 caps for Brazil. I thought that would be a lot more. 31 goals in those 43 games. But still, at the age of 30, he is worth £70 million. So that's great. And look how good of a season he has continued to have. So since the last time we met, where he scored 54 goals, in the season after that, he scored 52 in 36. 72 goals in total. What was the season before? 82. So he scored 10 less goals across the season, 2 less in the league. But he matched the amount of player of the matches, and he got 4 more assists in that season with a 7.58, a higher average rating. This season, bit of a drop off, 40 goals in 32 games, 6 assists, 8 player of the matches, and in total 48 games. 48 goals he scored. Taking into consideration as well, he's penalty taker, but that's understandable because he has fantastic penalty taking attributes. Great composure, good penalty taking, so that's fair enough. And again, we'll take a quick look at his stats. 28 XG, and he scored 40 goals throughout the season. So he's scoring more than what he should. And we've already seen it, but he did win the Champions League. They beat Chelsea in the final 2-0. I wonder whether he actually scored in that final. That would be fantastic if he did. He did not. It was an own goal and a Dammon goal there, which is Myron Dammon. Now, people are going to ask, what a player, by the way, for 20 years of age. Fair enough. People are going to ask, that is a Chilled Moose Regen face pack. You can find her on Patreon. You have to donate $5 a month. That's what I pay. Well worth it. Changes the game, in my opinion. So they've done very well in the league. Had they won the league every single year? They have done so. There's one more thing we've got to check, though, viewers. You know what it is. Yes, it is the Ballon d'Or, and Brenner has won it 1 time. Unfortunately, it's only 1 because of the likes of Mo Salah and Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe, of course, playing a very successful PSG team who has won the Champions League on multiple occasions. Brenner has been limited to the amount of times he has won it, but in the year that he did score 76 goals in 55 appearances. The season before, how he's not even in the top 3 when he managed to score 82 goals across the whole league campaign, nobody knows. But there we go. I suppose it is calendar year, so it might be a little bit different. I suppose maybe this will be a better indication of his calendar year, which he has obviously won it. So fair enough, Brenner has won the Ballon d'Or at least once. And there we have it. What do you make of Brenner? One of my favourite players from FM19, a player that I hold quite dearly to my heart, and I haven't used him ever since. So it's fantastic that we can bring you this player spotlight with the young Brazilian right now. What do you think of this player? Let me know down in the description out of 5 stars. But I'm going to rate him now. Now the cost at the beginning, if we take in consideration his current ability, is actually quite cheap. So whereas normally I'd say, oh, £10 million, that's quite expensive. Normally that's because we're using a player who is nowhere near developed enough to play in a first team. However, Brenner could probably walk into the majority of teams in the Premier League as their starting striker, if not get a lot of goals, a lot of games off the bench. So I'm considering 13.75 million as actually quite cheap. That's quite good for me. The goals, or the attributes, per position, perfect in my opinion for that Poacher role. Absolutely spot on. The advanced forward, the Poacher role, even the complete forward, he wouldn't be too bad. His passing slightly low, but he has great mentals for that role. Pressing forward, it was decent as well. But for that Poacher role, in my opinion, is the perfect player for that. And the Poacher role is very good in this year's iteration of the game if you have certain players around him in different player roles. So thumbs up from me in that regard. Now the cost after the valuation of the player, we've seen that even at 30, he was valued at £70 million. So absolutely yes. Is he scoring the goals? Yes. Don't even have to ask that question. Does he have that something special? I think he does. He's Brazilian. He's a wonder kid from Brazil. That adds something to me. I don't know about your opinion. This is just my opinion. But that adds something for me. I think they just have that little bit more flair. He has great attributes. He just has something about him, in my opinion. And I think he has earned that right. He won a Ballon d'Or. He's earned a very successful career. Scored a lot of goals. I think he has that something special. It is a 5-star performance from me. What is your opinion? Let me know down in the comments. And there we have it, that's another player spotlight done and dusted. So let me please remind you, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. We have so much going on right now. Not to mention we have the Director of Football Challenge, the perfect Director of Football Challenge with a little bit of a twist coming out at some point this week. So you don't want to miss that. Please, if you can, press a like on the video because that really helps the YouTube algorithm. Not to mention your comments, 5 stars, and did you get the quiz question? I want to stop you right there, Luke. Editor Luke here. You never actually answered the quiz question, so I don't know how you expected anyone to get it right. The answer is actually Andre Villas-Boas. He was the man, the ex-Premier League manager who took part in the Dakar Rally Challenge. He actually had a bad accident in that challenge as well and had to go to hospital. Facts. Did you know it? Did you let me know? I don't know. YouTube algorithm, like I just said in the past. Now I'm saying it again in the future, but you're watching it in the present. Crazy. It all really helps this channel grow and progress as we go on route and get seen in the YouTube algorithm. So any comments and interactions like that is absolutely fantastic. And thank you to everyone who does, on a very daily basis, leave me a comment. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching the video. I will see you very soon for another one, viewers. Bye-bye.